Welcome everyone to another edition of Oklahoma History and
Nice.
Best one yet.
I was nervous doing it in front of Toni.
No, that's nice.
Yeah.
I have to say, when I listened to you guys' podcast, I thought that was a recording. So you're like, people listening, you're just doing this live, like on the spot.
Every time.
Well, he's
Every
using
time.
AI every time, so that's the truth to it. But
It's its own theme.
Guys, this is our very first episode with our brand new co-host. And I'll let you introduce yourself and everything, but let's just say we struck gold when we found this lady.
I don't know about that. We'll see. My name's Toni. I work in the industry as a makeup artist.
nice.
Yeah. Should I go deeper?
As the makeup
I don't know about
artist.
but there's
She's
a
an
small
insider.
handful of us, in the industry. I've been doing this about 15 years.
That's cool. Wow.
I didn't even know that's how long movies had been, in Oklahoma.
Poppin'. Yeah, I mean, and it was smaller when I came into it, and it was popular in the 90s. We had Rain Man came through and Twisters came through.
Right.
It had some stuff, and then it slowed down a bit in the commercial world, and then it started popping back up like with a small incentive program like 2010, 2009. I could be wrong. There are others that are older that could tell. Anyway.
Did you how did you get involved in it?
Yeah, how
was
did I
that
do it?
something that you wanted
Oh
to
yeah.
do
Oh yeah. So when I was like a kid, I remember I have a memory, and I've told this story before on other podcasts. I have a very vivid memory of watching the Munsters, and loved the Munsters. And I remember that Eddie Munster, the little kid, he had like a widow's peak.
He was a
yeah.
he was a werewolf.
What?
I believe he was a werewolf.
He was a werewolf?
Yeah, I think that's why he had
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
That's
knows
why he had a
he
widow's
is
peak?
full of these fun facts.
I want to say his ears were also pointed. I think that's why the widow's peak is. I want to say maybe some werewolf in an old movie had that. But yeah, he was a werewolf.
Okay, well, I love him more. So I also have a really strong widow's peak, and so I just remember acknowledging that, right? I'm a super werewolf, right?
Nice.
So I remember seeing it anyway, and there was a moment where he turned, side profile, and I could see the paint, and then I could see his hair,
Oh.
and I'm like 5 or 6, and it wait, that's a trick.
Yeah, they made this
It
up.
hit me a trick. Yeah, I don't know now why the bolts in Dad's neck was not a giveaway for me, but it was his widow's peak, and I remember being like, hold on, somebody's doing something. And I remember having long conversations with my mom, and I remember loving horror movies. And I remember I would always watch the Chucky movies. I mean, single mom put me in front of the TV. She's like, kid, I gotta go, right?
We know very well.
Latchkey kid all the way. And I would get really scared, but then I really wanted to watch them. And my mom was a really big part of saying no, there's someone that's standing right outside the camera, and they're doing this thing, and it's not real, and the knife is like rubber, trying to explain
Man.
this doll is not killing people.
Was she doing that? Oh,
She's doing it so I wouldn't be scared, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because I was watching it and then I'm having nightmares. Instead of her being like, you can't watch this, she's trying to help me.
She wasn't trying to ruin movie magic for you. She was just
Creating it. Yeah,
letting your heart know.
Yeah,
that-
and she also wanted to watch TV. She didn't want to watch cartoons forever. So if I was going to sit on the couch with her, she had to kind of go, it's okay. This is happening. This is happening. It's happening.
And you had to watch a lot of grown-up stuff.
Yeah, I watched way too much grown-up stuff as a kid. But that triggered that of being like, hey, that's a trick. I want to be part of that trick. I didn't even know what makeup really was. I just knew that you're trying to trick people. There's something happening, and I want to be the person that does the thing that tricks the thing.
Nice.
That was that at a base level.
That
then
is
grew from there.
That is so similar to us with wrestling, because the first real
loved
exposure
wrestling.
I had to wrestling was NBC aired the expose that they had done one on magic, exposing magic. They did one on wrestling, and far from it being oh, look at this fakery, it just made me so interested. Kind
Me
of what
too.
you
Are
were
you talking about
saying.
the ones that just came out recently?
No, this one was in '99 or '98.
I've watched I think almost every wrestling documentary if they're out there.
wow.
about
Oh,
them.
wow, nice.
Because I was obsessed with it as a kid too, and it was another is this happening?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget my memory of wrestling when I was like, holy crap, I have to be here. Is I remember when The Undertaker was introduced right out of the gate, and he had Paul Bearer as his main manager guy, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's a monster. He's not real. And then he put Ultimate Warrior in a casket on the stage, and I literally, I will not forget, you guys, my heart was beating. I was like, we are killing this guy.
Wardrobe
Can anybody? Yeah, because I'm also Native American, so I like thought he was like cool, which now is
Yeah,
so
I never
bad.
thought
But
about that he looked native.
he
I'd never
definitely
thought
was,
about that. But
definitely
yeah.
not Native, but he like had the regalia, and I grew up in the powwow scene, like no understanding what regalia was, so I thought he was cool. Anyway, and now he's getting put in a casket by Ultimate Warrior, and I'm like freaking out at like 7 years old. I'm like dying. But anyway, I've been a huge Undertaker fan
life and
my
death.
whole life.
I had no idea. I had no idea. And like, so this works out great. Yeah.
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, I think seeing, like you said about seeing the Wolf Boys hairline,
Yeah.
that inspired you. Seeing the fakery, some people might be like, "Oh, well, now I'm turned off, but I don't want to do it." But you wanted to dive in. That's really interesting.
Further. Yeah, I guess I needed to know the trick. So
Yeah.
anyway, fast forward, went into retail, loved beauty, did all that stuff. And then I was working at the mall. Always wanted to work in film, but I live in Oklahoma. I was supposed to go to like a film school in Florida when I turned 18, but then ended up, getting married, buying a house, being an adult.
Yeah.
Right, life happens. And then I remember working at the Mac counter in Norman and hearing that there was a movie happening. And it was
Nice.
the one with had Kate Hudson, Jessica Alba,
Yeah. Then maybe The Killer Inside Me.
The Killer Inside
That's
Me.
what it was.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
that one.
I remember them filming that.
And that was
around
like
Tulsa.
right before. And then there was a couple other movies, and then I'm managing this cosmetic counter. So I'm 40 hours, like, 401k, insurance, the whole thing. And I'm like, no, it's time to transition. And it took me 2 years to transition into freelance.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I just made the leap and went from like full adulting to freelancing.
That's
I'm always so
And then to
surprised.
bridal, commercial, movies,
Oh, wow.
like everything.
I'm always so surprised by because he's turned me on to so many Oklahoma movies and how many movies are being filmed here.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me because I remember when I was younger, I think Prancer was filmed here, and that was like for a while that was like what people could brag about. I had a buddy who I worked with, Tony. You remember Tony? I'd probably
Yeah,
bleep his name. His big bragging, he's like, "Yeah, I've been in a movie. I was in Prancer. I was in the background of the mall scene." It's like
my God. I
because
never
that was
knew-
Wait, I don't even know.
don't
I
know
don't even, I'm not
Prancer?
familiar with Prancer.
They showed us that. They showed us Prancer in school.
It was
Like,
it was filmed here because it was a big deal, and it's not even it's not even the main reindeer. So it's like Oklahoma, we get like
it's
that.
literally about the reindeer.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
yeah.
It's
1989, Sam.
And keep in
Elliott.
mind, there's
Wait,
Yes, Sam
and Horace
Elliott.
Leachman. I worked with Horace Leachman.
oh nice.
That's dope. Dude, Sam Elliott. That I forgot. Yeah, he was in it. Like I remember Prancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we can brag about all kinds of movies, like what did you say, the Killer Within or whatever. Like,
Okay.
And today,
Yeah.
today we have we have a very tough movie to discuss.
is it Prancer? Because I watched Prancer in anticipation for this.
I need to watch
All
it.
my notes are Prancer related.
Oh God, I think I may have
Maybe I need to watch it. That needs to be another one.
I sent out a wrong memo. Yeah, we were tasked with the film 13 Minutes, and it stars Amy Smart. She was the one I recognized the most, as well as country music sensation Trace Atkins, who I have worked for. I've worked on one of his shows before. He is a very tall man. I don't know like,
Yeah.
if you've ever seen him in person.
6'6".
Man, 6'6". He looked every bit of that, and he was really awesome when I worked the show for him. He actually like came onto one of the trailers and helped some of us roadies like unload some stuff. So I
Nice.
thought it was pretty cool.
Nice.
And maybe he just wanted to like get his blood moving or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
He didn't have to, but he did.
Oh, and then, I mean, Thora Birch was
Oh yeah, Thora Birch. Like we
Yeah.
know her from what's Dunstan checks
and
in.
Hocus Pocus.
The Hocus Pocus obviously is the.
And then
greatest.
don't forget about Peter Facinelli. I think I'm saying it right. He's the Twilight dad.
Oh, that's right. I knew I
and
recognized
he's the one
him.
that in Can't Hardly Wait that he's like Amanda. He's that guy.
Oh,
Oh wow.
The guy that like why people say Amanda all like stupid like is because of
Wow.
him
wow.
from Can't Hardly Wait.
And I
Love it.
I like marked out big time when I saw Paz Vega because
Oh,
she
yes.
was one of my favorite movies from like 2007 or so was Spanglish.
Oh, so good.
It was such a good movie, and
good
she
movie.
was the star of that as well, opposite of Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've seen that movie.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I
she-
know which one you're talking
She
about.
was just a sweetheart.
She was so
Yeah.
good. So good. So it was good. It was definitely an all-star cast. I will say you mentioned Amy Smart. She was the one actor, and I'm this way now a few times, is like I'm such a fan of her movies. Like her movies are pretty staple for me
Yeah.
as a 90s kid, where there was a part of me that was nervous even working with her because I was like, oh man, don't fuck up some of my favorite movies, like some of my favorite Christmas movies, some of my best high school movies. Like if you're a jerk, for me, it ruins it for me. I don't want it to, but if I don't really care for an actor, it will ruin their movies for me. And I wish it wouldn't, but it does. It
Like
does.
the
That's
whole
the truth.
time you're just like, don't try to quote the foot rubbing thing. Don't quote the foot rubbing.
Or I start to learn their little mannerisms because I'm working with them in person. And
Yeah.
then when I go back to see their movies and I notice the little quirks, manners, I'm just like, it's not even good acting anymore. Like it messes with my head. Anyway, she did not disappoint, and she had to be one of the just legit coolest people where I was like, thank God.
Oh, man.
Thank
That is
God.
cool.
She's amazing. Oh man, she was so cool.
I don't know how to say the Sophie girl's last name.
Oh, yes.
Vasilieva.
Oh, and Anne Heche. We didn't mention Anne Heche.
Yeah, Anne Heche is in
Yeah.
it.
Anne Heche is in it, yeah.
She's the person you see first in the movie, walking outside to her porch.
I was going blind watching these, so like whenever I see one of these actors I recognize, I was like, oh, I know her. I couldn't remember her name, but I was like, was she married to Harrison Ford? And I was like, no, she was not married to
No.
Harrison Ford. No, I know she was married to a woman, but I don't know who it was.
Oh, Ellen.
Ellen, that's
Or
right.
they dated, yeah.
Yeah.
It's what kind of ruined her career for a long time.
Has she passed on?
She passed,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so, yeah.
That's right.
Anne Heche did?
You don't know the story?
It was like a weird tragedy or conspiracy or
yeah,
something.
like I know we're sidestepping into this.
Right,
but
yeah.
Anne Heche, you got to look up yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into this after.
She drove into a stranger's garage, like crashed into
That's
the garage.
right,
It
yeah.
caught on fire, and they had to pull her out. And there is helicopter footage of her being wheeled out in like a body bag, and she opens the body bag and comes out of it.
That's right,
As they're
yeah.
putting her in the ambulance.
Yeah, I remember,
And
yeah.
then she was in the hospital. She was an organ donor, so she was in the hospital, like incubated for like a couple of weeks. And then they eventually, it was a story. And there was a lot of conspiracy around it because she was alone. She was driving erratic. They don't know what was happening. She had just went to a store, and the store owner was like, she was fine. So they think something.
Well, also years before this, she had where she like something happened. I don't know if she was on drugs or had a head injury or something, but she was caught found like wandering around.
Yeah, well, she was bipolar, so she struggled
okay.
with her. Yeah.
I remember there were conspiracies
Yeah.
connected to that one too. So
She also the conspiracies around it is that she was exposing child trafficking, and so yeah.
same as the conspiracies with Brittany Murphy, her and her husband, where
Right.
they died of I think toxic mold, but really it was the Illuminati, I believe.
Yeah, or pissed off Diddy, and
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so about this movie.
Well, the synopsis, I mean, this is the largest tornado on record, and it threatens to ravage a small town, leaving the residents with only 13 minutes to find shelter. Doesn't seem like a long time.
No.
And search for their loved ones and fight for their lives. In the wake of total devastation, 4 families must overcome their differences and find strength in themselves and one another to survive.
Yeah.
So that's the movie.
It's got a few different narratives that all kind of like link together at the end. It was really pretty cool the way.
It was kind of like Crash in that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And there were things in it like that I loved. Like I actually, and we'll get to them as we're going through the movie here. But like for me, it was for what it was. I think it was actually better than what it is, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like there were beautiful moments in it, but I think the overall story kind of like overshadowed it a little bit.
Yeah, I think where they maybe misstepped is they promoted it as a tornado movie.
Yeah.
And that's not really what it is. It's really about 4 people from very different places in their lives and different diversities in a small town, and they have to find humanity when tragedy strikes.
Yeah.
And they
That's
should have
what
left
I
it at
got.
that.
Yes.
It's about bringing communities together when shit gets hard. And the tornado's kind of the thing that brings them together at the end, but really the movie is about these 4 very different stories.
Yeah.
And they do tap into some political and some cultural things. And a lot of the reviews that didn't like it were like, "Where's the tornado?" And you're like, "Okay, bro,
Yeah.
let's pull it back." Because
We have tornado.
about a whole, we're gonna get there. But that's also like, the poster of the movie is a picture of a little girl around devastation. So I think they promoted it one way and didn't really market to the right audience that this is actually a family film. that a thing happens to. But I think if they would have, it would have done well. But it hit. I think it definitely hit Amazon. I think it was on Netflix for a bit. Might have hit Hulu. So
Oh
it
yeah,
made its
definitely.
rounds.
Yeah, I think I saw it on Hulu a couple years ago actually. So
It made its rounds. I think it could have been better if it would have just had that marketing. Like they just were trying real hard on the action, and it's not. It's not an action movie. So if anyone listening, it's not really what it is. It
Yeah,
has some
'cause
great action, but it's not.
that was one of the things that not turned me off about it, but made me think. Well, yeah, because the poster, it looks like it's a tornado movie. So in my head, going in blind, I thought this was either the bootleg Bruce Campbell Twister knockoff, or it was the one that's actually pretty good. It was like a TV movie with Devon Sawa, I think, from Casper.
Devin saw one.
Devon
Yeah.
Devon Sawa.
You made him sound way cooler.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was going to be something like that, and actually, yeah, this was a lot better than I thought. Going in blind like it was really neat. Yeah, and I asked the same question. I'm thinking, I'm like 15 minutes in. It's like, where's the tornado? There's going to be a bunch of tornadoes. There's not any so far, and it's just kind of an afterthought. It's just like an event that all these things happen around.
Right.
So
And I think it was pitched that way. I think it would have went differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think-
Because it was good and had great talent.
And like great storytelling, and I love like the humanity that they show in people, even like that rotten hotel clerk guy, the
Yeah.
guy that runs the hotel.
Oh yeah.
he
And
has
he's a local actor. Oh, he's fantastic.
he has like comments. He'll say like he uses like Hispanic slurs to refer to people, but then later on you see when the going gets tough and everything,
He comes
the hell
around.
on earth comes. Like
He becomes a good guy. Well, he becomes a
Yeah.
human.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's like we always talk about layers in movies and
Yeah.
layers in people, and that's how it is in real life. Like
Doug
Yeah,
is
you-
his name.
Doug.
Doug was his real name. Yeah, he plays the motel manager. Yeah. I had to
He
look
did
him
a
up.
great job because like I thought in that particular scene or where he says something hateful and negative, but in that same turn he can turn around and help a person of color or whatever, like because that's what real life is. Like you will run into a lot of ignorant people that say a lot of ignorant things, but I do think when the going gets tough, if like disaster happens or even war or something, people do come together that and they stand side by side with people that they might not normally stand beside. I liked
Yeah.
that humanity that they showed in it. That was just one of the positives in the movie for me.
Yeah, it was. And I like that it definitely intertwines each of the four families. So at first it shows them as they're completely separate.
Yeah.
And then you start realizing, the hairstylist that Sophia plays, she's the babysitter of the Weather family, which is Amy Smart and Peter's characters. They're both weather people. One's the weatherman, Amy Smart. But she worked with like the National Weather Service. And so they're a married couple in the movie. And then they have a daughter that's deaf. And then the hairstylist character played by Sophia is their babysitter. And so like each of the four separate families all kind of
They are
intertwined,
intertwined
but you
in
just
a
don't
way,
realize
yeah.
it until you get into it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I liked how they did it because it kind of felt natural.
Yeah.
The way they intertwined, especially when you think about Oklahoma and small towns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody knows everybody. So
I really liked how some of the deaf girl scenes were muted. That just was
I
like
liked
really
that
was
too,
cool. It
yeah.
was such a nice touch. I don't want to jump ahead, but there's a scene where she sees the tornado on the street, and it's kind of like I was sort of mesmerized too watching it. I was like, oh wow, I just kind of want to stand here.
she should not be us.
What do they call that? It's like when you want to jump off a cruise ship into the black water, you're just like looking at the void and like, oh.
Yeah, when they make it silent for her, it was really cool. Yeah. So I have a question for you guys as the newbie here. Is this podcast this is full of spoiler alerts. Like we're talking
yeah,
beginning to end. So the idea is that people listening has already watched the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
if they haven't, we're gonna spoil it for them, and hopefully, the way we describe it will make them want to go watch it,
Got it.
even if
Okay.
they know.
Yeah, because for me, spoilers or anything like that just is like a tease, makes me want to watch it. So hopefully, maybe our audience is the same way. Who knows?
Okay.
I also noticed, the I called him the D bag. His name was Eric in the
Oh,
show.
yes,
but
yes.
it was from he was kind of a local actor or that I met on one of the first films I ever like worked background on. James Austin Kerr.
Yeah, he's so good. Yeah, he's
He-
like from here originally, and then doesn't live here now. And
Oh,
then he
wow.
comes back and works.
Yeah, like he played such a great D-bag or whatever. And Thora Birch, like I loved seeing her.
Yeah.
And like the who they cast as her daughter, that the Sophia, whose last name I can't say, it starts with a V, people, but like they look identical almost. Like she really looks like a young Thora Birch.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, they did really good.
So
Yeah.
whoever did the casting on this, you did a grade A job on it. They really got some great actors in this. And so when things like this happen, sometimes I ask myself like, how does Oklahoma get these like? To me, they're almost A-list in my opinion actors, and sometimes, and this film, I'm not talking about this film, but sometimes we get big actors like that come in, and then they're a part of movies that I'm like, I feel like isn't showing our best from Oklahoma. And I don't have
Yeah.
any,
As in the storyline, our best is in like Oklahoma.
yeah, or like movie, like
Oh, the movie doesn't turn out great.
yeah, they don't use them like, yeah, the movies don't turn out as good, and you have all this talent, and it's like somebody fumbled. And I don't have any examples that come to mind right off the
Right,
bat. I'm not
right.
here to trash
Right.
anybody, but sometimes I think whenever we get these big time actors, they end up getting put in like a B movie that maybe people aren't going to watch, and I feel like it's a waste.
Yeah. Well, I think it goes to show how many working pieces have to come together to create magic.
Yeah.
It's like baking or cooking or anything. You can have the best ingredients in the world, but if if the heat's a little too high, or like, I mean, I'm not a cook, so I can't use that analogy very well. But I mean, there's a lot of just tiny little things that cannot make it work. And so, I mean, this movie, they all did a great job. And
No,
so,
yeah,
but there's so many other pieces that come together that don't, yeah. And unfortunately, the lower the budget, sometimes that's what makes it harder because now you're rushed. You don't get the amount of takes. We had a lot of issues with lighting because this whole thing took place from like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And so we were light dependent every day. And there was a couple of times where now they're spending money on creating a backdrop that doesn't, that wasn't real. And, a lot can happen, I guess is what I'm saying, as it goes to show. And it's also, I've learned watching these actors come through for these smaller budgets is if they don't really have the rehearsal time. Like, so I'll give you an example. In this movie, the scene where Peter Facinelli's character's name's Brad, right? Yeah. The weatherman. He finds his family at the inn through the rubble.
Yeah.
And he walks up to them, and it's this big emotional moment, okay? You've got his wife holding their deaf daughter, pulling out of the rubble. He hugs her, he kisses her, and it's like, should be the biggest moment of the scene. That was, if I remember right, that was his very first scene.
Oh, God.
With her, and he had just met Amy hours prior to that. He had just met this child who's deaf in real life. He just met this child and her parents. And his first scene right out, and he, typically with movies this size, and this was a decent budget. I think this was like 11 million, which is a decent for Oklahoma. I think 11 to 12 million. Is he shows he lands the day prior, he gets fitted for clothes, he does a test look, goes to his hotel, shows up the next day, boom, he's in the biggest, most emotional scene. And so if it's scheduled different, or it's a tight schedule, or they don't have the rehearsal, they don't have the chemistry, sometimes they just have to go in cold.
Man.
And sometimes that translates. It's not saying the scene translated cold, but it shows like those movies that can rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, and like our Scorsese film that's like he will do 50 takes of that moment until they get it right. Movies like this, they don't have that. The director had a short amount of time with them before the sun sets and they had to move on. So to answer your question, that's sometimes what happens.
And do you remember how many days the shoot was?
I feel like it was 5 or 6 weeks. So what's that, 35 days maybe? Which is a longer one for Oklahoma sometimes. Yeah, I just finished an 18-day feature. I mean, you just powering through them. Yeah.
And I love this movie. It touched on, emotional and social themes. We did talk about that.
Yeah.
It touched on immigration, the LGBTQIA.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I really liked the gay guy and his boyfriend. They had to kind of keep secret.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
I love the scene where
hot.
he comes out to Trace at his
Yes.
father.
Trace Atkins.
I loved that.
And he tells his dad, I'm not gay, or no, he says I'm gay, and like his very conservative parents are like, just basically like, no, you're not.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you're not gay.
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes because he stands up, the big guy, and he's like, "You're not gay," and I was like, "Well, that settles it. You're not
Yeah.
gay."
Valid,
So
yeah.
just point at you and say you're
It's
not
a hard.
gay.
It's a hard moment. I think that Trace Adkins and Anne Heche, who played his parents, did a really good job in that scene of like caring about their son, because you could already tell leading up to that moment that they cared about their son. They wanted him to do better. They wanted him to quit.
Yeah,
You could tell he kind of was lost in his way.
Yeah, because the barn catches on fire in the
Yeah,
very
and he was
beginning of the
gone.
movie, and he's not there because he snuck off
Yeah.
with his boyfriend.
But they just see him as like gone. He's not
Yeah.
there. He's not part of it. And so when he does reveal to them, they had a great chemistry together, and they really, like, you can tell that they just are upset. They just like they don't know how to react.
yeah.
Oh, I loved Anne Heche. She just like was not saying anything. She was a stone cold bitch, just like no.
But like also so
Great.
loving and maternal. Like she was a very good country mom. That
Oh
tough
no,
country
yeah,
mom.
100%.
But was just pissed.
Because
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also the scene with Maddie.
Oh, Maddie, yeah, who plays the hairdresser, who's the babysitter of the little girl. There's a lot of connections
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that was cool because you're like, oh yeah, that person's connected to that person.
Yeah,
Yeah, I liked all that.
But in this story, she realizes she's pregnant. Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
and the scene where Maddie is in she was in the abortion clinic, and then Tammy, Anne Heche's character, was like, showing her the ultrasound, and then like trying to talk her, or guilt her basically into keeping it, and she's like, oh wait, no, I was here for the abortion, and she's like, I know, but you're gonna change your mind once you hear
It's so
the
good.
angely voice. And I like, yeah, it was so perfect because that's how like a lot of
think a lot of 'em are.
Midwestern and Southern
yeah, there's
moms
places
are.
like that where they trick you like that, or
Oh, yeah,
a
and
lot
there
of phone
really
deals
are
where they do
places.
that. Yeah.
And I mean, and that's what that she kind of reveals. It really threw her off, and but yeah, Anne Heche in that scene, and those two together in that scene was really powerful because she was. You can tell. I liked that Anne Heche's character, loves the Lord. She is doing what she truly thinks is best for this planet, right?
Yeah.
And for this earth. And there's so much love that she gives. It's just skewed from what everybody else needs her to do.
Yeah.
Or like, so I have a lot of sympathy for her character because she's basically a good conservative woman, and it no longer fits the current narrative of
Yeah.
of Sophia's character or of her son's character that's gay. And so I like when there's conflict like that, when you can kind of feel the pain from both sides. Yeah.
What scene stuck out to you?
I really liked because I mentioned Anne Heche's cross, like when they're doing CPR and the dad. I guess not to jump ahead a little bit, but it's kind of like God, he was such a dick, but now they're saving his life. That was a really kind of a powerful scene. And if anyone listening, hearing my voice, watches this, notice her cross. I don't know. It's just you just notice it. It's kind of like, I don't mean to say a prop to like demean it, but it's there and it's big. And we've all lived in Oklahoma, seen lots of older ladies wearing big crosses like that
Yeah.
that really stand out. But I just thought that was a really powerful scene when they're giving him CPR, and it's like, man, this guy was really a dick. In the back of your mind, you'd almost be thinking like, oh, should I really help him? Like he was
but
really
then-
mean to
But
me.
this was like
they did it anyway.
her husband
Yeah.
and their son. Yeah.
So we meet Paz Vega's character, and we see her and her like fiance or husband thing. They're staying at the motel that she works at, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And like they have this house that they found that they're about to put a payment on and get, and that's what she is trying to take care of while she's at work as well.
Yeah.
Like she has to run during her lunch break and go meet up with the realtor lady and sign some papers.
It's
felt really
Anna
good
and Carlos, by the way, for listeners.
Oh, okay.
Those are the two character names.
Anna and Carl.
They might have
And
been my
Anna
favorite.
is the housekeeper at the motel who lives at the motel, and Carlos is the migrant worker. That's her fiance.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do all the right things.
I really wish I could find out like what happened afterwards. Did he get popped? Like I hope not. I want to say he fell through the cracks, and they live in that beautiful little house.
Yeah,
I
my,
know.
my wife is a ER nurse, and one of those scenes really bothered her whenever one of the EMTs were talking to Carlos and Anna. And she was filling out the paperwork,
Right.
and she was worried, because it's
hesitant.
undocumented. And my wife is just like, they're not gonna care. They don't care.
They
Just
don't care
sign
about
it. Yeah, it's
But they were definitely in the story. They were trying to do all the right steps. So there was
Oh,
a
yeah.
fear of like, I mean, I don't know, right now, the way it is
Oh,
in 2025,
Yeah.
if she filled out the paperwork, I mean, I might, shit, maybe they might be at hospitals.
No,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like, I don't even know
100%.
right now. But it was a good, nice, like, fork in the road where she thought, I'm either going to save his life by taking him to the hospital because he was, for listeners that haven't watched it, he's in a car accident in the tornado.
Oh, the hand.
He
Oh,
gets his
God.
hand through. Puts his hand through, which was a whole ordeal.
Oh, it makes my hand hurt.
And so she has to decide, does he go to the ER and get discovered, or do we try to deal with this at home and him not possibly be,
Just tough it out, man. You don't need to
yeah,
go.
possibly
Rub
be.
some
Insurance,
dirt on it.
yeah, insurance is going to
Yeah.
cost a lot. Just you'll be all right.
And the hard part was, he was a mechanic in the story,
Yeah, and I
and so
clocked
it had
that.
to be his hand.
I
right.
clocked that
So
immediately.
it was showing a lot of the things of where it, yeah,
It
the
could
fork in the road.
destroy
What
a
do you do?
life.
Destroy
Yeah.
lives. Yeah.
You know, I said earlier my favorite scene was the one where they're doing CPR. My favorite scene, because I wrote it down, was when he's in the truck and the way they filmed
Who's
it upside down.
Carlos.
Carlos,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Carlos, yeah, and with the hand, and he yanks his hand out, and the way they film it, it's upside down. It's so cool looking. Yeah, like.
I cringed the way he was pulling it out of that
Yeah.
shredded metal. I was
Well, when he's trying to get out and he sees the van from where she works, and he's like, "I'm coming for it," and like the
Yeah.
panic that you feel of, because like I just wanted to get out of that cab, I just anything. But yeah, the way they shot it was like upside down. It looks like he's Spider-Maning on the ceiling of his
Yeah.
truck. Really cool scene.
Well, I'm
really
glad you
cool.
liked it. I have the exact opposite feeling towards that particular scene because that one was disorienting, but I think
Yeah.
I knew too much of how they, I don't know, for me, I felt like they crossed the line, like the 45-degree line, like for the camera.
Oh, yeah.
So it was disorienting of where he was. I felt like they went around.
It was like a
'cause there's a line that
technical
there was a
aspect.
technicality, I thought.
I have a question. Who does the bloody makeup for like his hand
that
and
would be the
stuff? Is that-
special.
oh, that's
Well,
not.
that's, yeah. So
Okay.
as the department head, I oversee all of it. And so for that particular scene, I brought in a key special effects because they made a mold of his hand.
I see.
And so my job as a department head is to bring in the team. So I bring in the keys and stuff and oversee, and then all the additional. So when we had the big tornado day, I think we had 6 or 8 additional help. So I coordinate the team together, and then find the right people and try to make it happen. And then I have to oversee it. So then, which is something I struggled with on this one was, they sometimes would do multiple units, so I wasn't there to see the last look. So sometimes if something's done and there's like a piece missing or a thing that should have been done or like a little extra blood or a little spraying or something like that, I'm not there to give the final okay sometimes on that, which was a bummer on this one because we were just spread thin. I could talk about that forever. But anyway, so yeah, that's my job to kind of coordinate those people. But for that hand scene, we had someone come in and help.
Well, my hat's off to them because
Yeah.
when he pulls it out and like sort of degloves himself, it reminds me of the Stephen King book where the lady is handcuffed and
Yeah.
she pulls her hand out of the handcuff and oh,
Yeah, it was good.
Now
It
my
was
hands,
painful,
now
yeah.
my hands
And
hurting.
I mean, it was a pretty like gnarly piece.
You know what else is a great effect is when they're hiding in the freezer and there's like stuff being jammed through in the ends and stuff. Oh, that
Yes,
was really
I thought
scary.
that was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was in the freezer of the hotel, right? And then
Yeah.
everybody was there was a couple people in the freezer. Yeah.
I never thought about that
and
being
the
a
way
place
like
to hide.
great.
sticks were like going through metal. And yeah, that was really
It
cool.
was good.
'cause
Yeah.
I imagine in my head the effect was, them maybe like jamming it through on the other side, but it was so cool looking.
It was good.
It was
Yeah.
very visceral.
I think we shot that in a studio inside, like they built the set, and then right
cool.
next to it was the set of the basement. Because in the scene, there's another scene
Yeah,
for
that's
listeners
cool.
that they're inside the refrigerator, and then another group is inside a that's not a basement. What is it? A
The
storm
cellar.
Cellar.
cellar. Words today. They're in a cellar, and so they were shooting those kind of next door to each other. And I thought those were really powerful moments of people which anyone in Oklahoma or anyone that's been in a tornado can relate to. Like all you're doing is you're bunkered down and you're just staring at the people 3 feet from you, just being like, "What? We gotta wait this out, right?"
Yeah. You
And
might
it's
even
brutal.
be holding the hands of a stranger
Yeah,
because, like
yeah.
you're just hunkered
And you're
down.
hearing your property just
Oh.
be destroyed, which was so sad for the farmhouse, for the Anne Hayes, Tracy Atkins, and the Wills, the son.
Yeah.
They're, this in the story, the
They
son is in
lose.
the cellar by himself.
Yeah.
One thing that wasn't realistic is everyone in Oklahoma knows that when you're in a storm shelter with people, there's always that one guy who's like, I don't care, I'll go out there.
That was
a little
that
wind.
was Trace being.
That was Trace.
Oh, right,
He was
yeah, I
that
guess so.
character.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, that's right.
Because he gets on a tractor, and I think he's trying to
Yeah, dude, he was trying
doing
to.
something. Maybe he was trying to open the gate for animals. He was doing something.
Right, yeah. He's like, I know the difference between a real warning
Yeah.
and a
Yeah. And then the
bull warning.
mother, Anne Heche's character, she stayed in the house and she was opening up windows, which I thought was really interesting because the director of this tried to do a lot of tornado research to make sure it was accurate.
Yeah, is that a wives' tale though?
It's a wives' tale,
is
and
it?
that's why she wanted her to do it.
Nice. That's a nice
That was-
touch.
I think so because it was like it's an old school.
Is
You want
it a
the
wives' tale? Because
Because then it can just pass over you.
I think the idea is that it doesn't break the windows in the house. It allows the air to flow through, which I guess
Yeah, I thought the pressure-
Wouldn't that like catch the? In my mind, I'm imagining the tornado now. It can get a grip on your house now better and
That's a good point.
lift up.
Well,
so.
in this case, it did, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had never heard that tell. I've never been told to open windows. So when I was doing the movie and they were talking about it, and she said it's like an older technique, I was like, all right, that sounds good.
No, yeah, my
it makes sense for
grandma-
Anne Heche's character being the woman that she was in the thing.
I like how polite you said older technique.
Older technique.
My grandma did it. Yeah, like
Yeah, it's an older technique. Yeah, I think what drove me nuts was I know that they used meteorologists like for consulting, but there was some terms that the Amy Smart character and Peter's character used that I had never heard. And us and all the crew were like, we don't know what they're
Well, I had never heard of the town that the
They made it up.
Minnewawa.
Yeah.
Say it again. What is the name?
No, I was like a
Minnewawa.
Minnewawa.
Are we sure that's not a? Because there's every day I hear like a new town.
Right.
I'm like, I never heard of this one
I
before.
don't think it is. I think it was made up.
Tulsa.
It
What
doesn't
is
sound
that?
like an old native tribe, and that's usually where we get all the names from.
Well, the director's Canadian, so maybe it was a Canadian writer director trying to make it sound native. Maybe I don't know. I don't think it was real though.
I do say, like, for if you're gonna put this movie in the classification of a disaster film, I think it's one of the like most unique ways to do a disaster film by adding all in the story and stuff like that. I don't think that's ever been done in a disaster film before.
I wanted to time it, but was it actually 13 minutes like the actual storm scene?
I think they just say 13 minutes because it's like that's how long you have to take shelter or something.
I was confused when I read the little synopsis that you read earlier that they had 13 minutes to get where they were supposed to get. I can swear, and maybe some crew members can help me remember, is I think when we were reading it, it was the storm was 13 minutes. Oh. And then I don't know within editing, if you notice when the movie, they don't really discuss anything that has to do with 13 minutes.
No,
Yeah, that's
not
true.
at all.
I don't know if the title, I think it started one way, the script was one way. As things happened, developed, editing, blah, 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 blah happened, I think the 13 minutes no longer became relevant. That might have also been a struggle with, I don't know. It was weird. But they don't really discuss it, but I always thought it was the 13 minutes worth of, like, your life changes within those 13 minutes.
Oh,
That makes
But
sense.
you're right, but the synopsis you read said,
yeah, it said like you only have 13 minutes to get.
yeah, so I don't know, to be honest. I don't.
The
they don't-
tagline could have been 13 minutes in your life, or 13 minutes it'll change your life, or some version of
something
that.
like that, yeah.
I looked up Will Peltz.
Yeah.
And, do you know who his father is?
I know that he comes from a very wealthy family.
Yes. His father is Nelson Peltz, and he's an American billionaire businessman and investor. He's a founding partner together with Peter W. May and Edward P. Garden of Train Partners. And like, I mean,
He's definitely an elite, and he was dating a socialite, and his sister is married to a Beckham, and like he was definitely involved in. I think at the time he was dating like Quincy Jones's daughter.
so
maybe.
his son
I might be getting it wrong.
his son doesn't have to be an actor. He chose to be an
He did,
actor.
yeah. So he's a model, actually. I think even at one point on a weekend that we were off, he left, and I think he had an Armani shoot. Like he's a high fashion model by trade.
I can see
is his
that.
life, right?
I could
Yeah,
see-
he's
He's
beautiful.
a good-looking man.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, and so acting
Nice.
was where he was trying to move into. So I haven't checked into him. I don't know if he's still doing things or.
Yeah, I didn't. I looked up and I didn't see that he's been in a whole lot of anything else. But
Yeah,
Who knows? There's still time.
Maybe he came here and we just ruined it for him. We made him all dirty and stuck him in a barn and hay, and maybe he was like,
He's like, I could be at a runway right now.
I will say he really got into it, and he gave it 110% every day. He could tell that it was a newer industry for him, and he really every day he was very focused. And him and Davi, who plays his lover in the story,
Oh yeah.
who's been in the scene forever, who's been acting forever. He's a former Power Ranger. Like the guy's
Really?
incredible.
Wow.
He's like a veteran
Nice.
actor, and so they really like bonded over that. And Davi was really good, like kind of bringing him along and trying to help him.
Props to them. They
did.
did
Yeah,
a
they
great
did
job
fantastic,
on
and
it.
they weren't weird about it at all. But it is still a new territory for
Yeah.
both of them. Yeah. There was a kissing scene in the barn. Like when they had a fight, but I think it's been cut out since then.
Oh, they cut it out. Okay, because I do remember them arguing in the barn, but
And a little like tidbit behind the scenes was in real life, the place that we were shooting at, the homeowners were there often, and we're shooting this kind of culturally like controversial scene. The thing, the owners in real life have, they're just there. Like we rent the space
Yeah.
out. They kind of and the location manager's job is to kind of keep them at bay. But they were pretty like involved. Like they didn't really stay back. Anyway, they found out about that scene and were not happy about it. Now there's nothing there's nothing they can do about it. They signed the contract, all the stuff. I don't think that's why it got cut out, but I remember them being pretty pissed, and I will never forget. They walked up to Trace Atkins, the actor, and said, "Are you gonna let them? You gonna let them do this?" Like it was literally a perfect like conservative moment. Like you know what I mean?
Nice.
Because they see this like actor slash music star, but this known tough cowboy
Country
Yeah.
who was an actor doing his job and who could give zero
Yeah.
about what the scene like that it's his job, but
Yeah.
you could really see as we're doing this story about cultural awareness, and the very people that own this location we're shooting at walk up to him like, "You're gonna let them get away with this? You're gonna let them do this in my barn?" And Tracy's like, "Ma'am,
I'm just here I'm working. I'm on the
Yeah.
clock, man.
that's not my territory." And the producers had to come in and kind of calm her down and like talk her down. But I remember being like, wow, this is like, life imitating art, or however they say
No,
it.
absolutely.
And he kind of laughed about it later. He's like, what am I supposed to do? It's like, no, that's not my job. But anyway,
We talk sometimes about like how the world isn't ready for crazy stuff like aliens. It's like because they can't even handle two men kissing.
No, they
Like,
can't
that's-
handle that.
They're not going to handle
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
higher than that.
So, are you from Oklahoma
born and raised,
originally?
yeah, Oklahoma
Okay.
City, yeah.
So then you're used to like conservative upbringings and stuff like that.
Yes.
What are your thoughts whenever you get pulled on to like projects that are like very Christian centric,
Very faith-based.
Hallmark or not Hallmark, but what's the channel you've worked?
Yeah, the Great American Channel.
Oh, Great American Channel. Yeah, I haven't done any of those. How do I feel about it?
Well, I guess not. How do you feel about it?
Yeah,
but
that
do
might
you-
be too loaded
Do you,
of a.
do you, do
No,
you think
yeah,
like
yeah.
do you think Oklahoma films sometimes get pigeonholed into that?
Yes, because that's part of part of the incentive
Yeah.
to get Oklahoma comes from basically the government has to approve it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we're in a conservative government, so part of the pitch that some of the top level people that are making those laws, they do kind of have to tailor it to the people that would vote for it.
That makes
Because it is
so
it
much
is
sense.
legislation, right, to get this tax rebate. So you can't come to them and say, like, we need $30 million to bring in Oklahoma film, but we are going to do a ton of alien and porn, right?
Yeah.
Like you
Right.
can't. So you have to like, it's family friendly. It's this, it's that.
It's a shame
We're
because
never
we could.
gonna get my dream movie made.
Yeah,
yeah.
we need to be on the map for
Yeah.
those two.
No Shape of Water going on here, which got awkward in that movie.
Where's the intimacy coordinator?
Man, so they do have to pitch it in that way. Not saying that every movie has to be faith based, but
It
helps.
it helps. It helps.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Yeah, it helps. Not to mention filmmakers here, a lot of them are faith based, which is so I don't have a problem working on faith based. I think that I choose projects based off of who I'm working with. I've learned that about myself is I don't think it's worth it even to be in the biggest blockbuster out there that if it's a toxic, shitty environment, like I've learned it's not worth it for me, right? Like I'm comfortable enough in my, the lights will stay on. I don't have to do that. So sometimes I'll take stuff that maybe I'm not the audience for it, but if the right producer is hitting me up, it's the right cast, it's the right team, the money works well enough, the supply budget, if the formula is right, I'll do it and maybe never watch it.
Well, you helped me like at least make sense of one thing, like about like no going to these people with the incentives and
Yeah, me
stuff.
too. I'd never
It
heard that
does.
Yeah.
before.
It helps me make sense of why there are so many.
So many,
I
right?
bet a lot of listeners didn't know that either. So you dropped some good
Oh,
knowledge on them
oh, I'm here all day.
there.
That's
So
what it all works.
if you have a script you want filmed in Oklahoma and it's like a crazy bloody NC-17 hood rat werewolf or something crazy, it's probably it might not have as big of a chance of
I
getting
don't
made.
know. I mean, a lot of horror does get made here, so
Yeah.
I think there's more factors to it than that. So the Oklahoma Film Office, I think, is also looking at, again, it goes into budget, how many Oklahomans that they can employ. Like, there's a
Yeah,
lot,
okay.
the marketability, I think.
Wow, this is
There's
blowing
a
my
lot.
mind.
There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah.
I had no idea that
Now,
there
in
was even a
C-17 part, I think when it does get into kind of like sexual nature,
yeah.
I think they have to be mindful of it because they still know that there still is a legislation. So the Oklahoma Film Office is actually funded by the Tourism Department of Oklahoma, which then
That makes
is
sense.
taxpayer dollars. So they're in a way government employees. I don't know in a way. I think they are technically government employees.
I wonder if they have a say so because I know that like there's a documentary. It's Hollywood and the Pentagon, and it's really hard to find because it's really tells a lot of stuff. They talk about like if you want to make a military movie, you have to send your script to the Pentagon. They have to say it's okay and rubber stamp it. I think
Really?
Platoon was the first one that didn't have it, which if you've seen the movie, you can tell like
Yeah.
it's very truthful about.
Wait, they have to as far as it getting funded, or
Well, if you want their help, because they will throw money, tanks, whatever.
if you want their financial and their consulting support.
Yeah, and
Okay.
they'll help out. And one of the things they can't have, like, it even goes far back to like an episode of Lassie. They had Lassie saved a test pilot, and the government said, absolutely not. We can't have a dog save one of our soldiers. Like, you have to rewrite it. So yeah, I've heard that
Wow.
like you have to submit your. I wonder if there's anything like that for Oklahoma. You have to submit your script to this board. So Hood Rat Werewolf, I don't think it's going to get made, man. Not unless we do it.
I think you do submit your script to the board. I don't know how much they approve it based off content. I know that they're maybe a little mindful, but I think there's a lot of other factors, money and
Yeah, probably. It sounds like
crew.
employment. And,
There's a lot of other things going on. Yeah.
So, who do you guys think is the biggest jerk in this film? Because
already
it's
know.
either between Anne Heche's character or maybe the Austin Kerr guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm going to say it's the country singer. He's the
You think?
character wise. He was the guy I most disliked, mostly
What?
because
No
his
way.
big stature, and I just kind of thought,
he actually learned Spanish. He
did?
knew some Spanish words.
Yeah, it
As
was
soon as he
pretty
found out his guy was a mechanic, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was like that much of
Either.
a jerk, really.
I guess it's partially it's because he's so big that just naturally
It's
like,
like an you see an alpha
So
male.
this is
and
really
you
this
get,
sounds like a you.
it really is more of a me
Okay,
thing.
this is a you
I'm
problem.
intimidated by this big guy. It's like a little dog barking at a big. Like I don't trust
all
him.
right. He's a big. All right. I'm so sorry to hear about your family.
I thought,
I mean,
He was the most threatening. Let's put it. I guess that's
Okay.
really what I'm saying. Out of all the characters of the movie, he was the one I'd have the hardest time beating up.
yeah.
I think the biggest jerk is still the motel manager. I mean, even though he's going to have humanity with a guy's hand and being hurt, the guy was hella racist and hella bigoted. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought he had his little redemption arc, though. I
his
thought the
redemption.
most evil lady was Anne Heche
Yeah.
for what she pulled on the girl during the abortion.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, that was very not
and that was
cool
her
at all.
career.
Yeah.
It wasn't like she had a moment with this girl. Her whole clinic. Now that you're saying this, I'm like having like a moment.
Yeah.
Her whole career was that, right?
Yeah, like that's what she did for a living, and like
Well, maybe not just with abortion. It was just like what a baby clinic. I mean, what was it?
yeah, she may not
Ultrasound
have.
clinic.
Yeah, I've heard of these before that I haven't heard of a one in person like that, but I've heard of ones that you can call and it's like, oh, you're thinking about getting an abortion, please call, we'll hook you up with a blah, blah, and then they just talk you out of it. But I guess having one like a pop-up real place they could go to would be even, it's very sinister. That's
I don't
very
know.
sinister.
Very sinister.
Yeah, she like
Now that
she
you're saying this,
made me.
Do you think they have a script for new employees, sort of like when you do a call center work?
Well, I'll guarantee you what
I know
she
here's the
said.
manual and what to say.
Yeah.
What she said to her was not in the manual.
Yeah.
Manual she created.
Maybe it
You're right, and then she does. She does deny her son.
Yeah, and like that after he helps CPR his father, and carry him and get him to safety,
Yeah.
she like stands there and disowns him. So to me, she was the worst villain, and
Yeah.
never mind the douchebag that possibly had a wife and 2 kids,
Right.
and his girlfriend that he just impregnated.
He looked so like the way he was dressed with the sweater vest with the corporate logo on it. I thought it was such a great look because it's like, oh, you little.
I love how like tuned in you are to costume. This is like the second or third time. Do we need the costumers of this movie?
Yeah,
Which
we
are
do.
my best friends, by the way. So we could.
Well, they did a
bring
great
them on and
job, like-
they'll talk all day with costumes. And the tricky part with these costumes is because it was only over one full day. They had multiples of the same outfit in
nice.
variant stages of dirt and water.
Oh wow.
And then it hopped all over the place with
That's
the storyline.
cool.
So one
Constantly
character.
changing back and
Yeah.
forth.
Just,
Oh,
you know,
you
the
got to
scenes
keep
aren't ordered.
track of that. Oh man.
Oh, and they did. Yeah, and we had to a dirt as well. Like Paz's character plays Anna. She had different degrees of dirt because she gets in the water in the rain, and then Thora Birch's character is different variances. So I mean, yeah, my continuity on it was wild.
One of the questions I had that I wrote down is, okay, after the tornado hits and there's just like a flat sea of
Right.
like debris, how was that filmed? Because my first thought, and this is ridiculous, but I'm going to say it anyway, my dumb mammal brain, I thought, did they film this right after a tornado? Because that seems like that would be insensitive, even though you'd probably get really good shots. But how did they do this?
That was, I think that part was CGI.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, I will say though that the devastation when they were actually out in it, like going through the rubble, that was too expensive for them to have that, and it was timed out so perfect where the movie Stillwater was filming at the same exact time as this movie, the one with Matt Damon, and they have a tornado scene in their movie, and they were able to connect with the Stillwater art department. And all of that debris that was already distressed, broken,
That's
whatever,
really cool.
had already happened. They timed our tornado scene to be after theirs, and they just had to pay for a dump truck to come, and it was, I can't remember how many tons it was
Yeah.
to bear, and then they just redumped it at our location. But all of that stuff was, to even buy that and to distress it and tear it and do all that stuff, that was money that we didn't have, and Stillwater was like a $30 million movie.
Yeah.
So they helped out.
It was like a Hail Mary moment that they were like, because if not, it would have been a lot less trash, a lot less
Yeah.
debris, a lot, because
And more CGI probably.
more
like,
CGI. Yeah, there's a lot of CGI in the movie, quite a bit. Yeah.
Like yeah, I noticed in that, like in the big destruction scenes, the aftermath. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, that's a lot of trash to
Yeah.
pick up.
Yeah,
like,
I think they did it like there was CGI in the back rows. Of the
Yeah,
trash,
yeah. Like
but
some
in
of the front stuff is real, and then like the further stuff in the back.
it was pretty
is,
big
like,
space, so I'll say that debris was pretty good
It
amount.
looked nice. I mean, I couldn't tell.
They did good. Yeah, they spent good money on that.
There was some moments in this cellar whenever they're hiding from the tornado, where like there
Oh
was
gosh.
grass
Oh
blowing
gosh, I know what you're gonna say.
up, and it was like floating. It looked like After Effects or something. Like,
And then his hair wasn't moving.
oh yeah,
Oh,
I didn't notice
I
that.
oh, it got me. Will's hair is like just
I didn't
there,
think
and then
about
he has
the
like
hair.
the grass floating around his face, and I was like, oh dang. But I thought they had a fan in there when they were doing it, but I guess it just wasn't powerful enough.
Do you guys know how they did the hair blowing for the last Superman? They put a bald wig on him, and then because they couldn't get the hair to blow right for the flying scenes, so they just put a bald cap on and CG'd the hair.
Oh,
Oh really?
Yeah, I wouldn't have known if they would have said no.
I like I like it whenever it's used like sparingly. I hate that nowadays like fight scenes are turning into nothing but CGI
Fight scenes?
fight scenes. Like watch the new Roadhouse with
Yeah.
McGregor and Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those scenes were like CGI'd, and I'm like, you have
Really?
a professional fighter right there.
Yeah.
Like, he
I
can
didn't
do
know
this
that,
stuff,
yeah.
and it's like you can tell it's CGI, and that's
Yeah, haven't
I guess
seen
it worked. No, I saw it. I guess it worked for me. But did you pick up on Will's hair not blowing?
no,
Okay,
I
that was
didn't.
me.
I was too distracted by the floating.
Floating grass, yeah.
It helps if you're more inebriated when you watch it. You won't notice
Yeah, I
these
don't
things.
care.
So, guys, I know we really didn't break down this movie like we normally do, but
You guys are just gonna have to watch it.
we're figuring out this three-person format we got going, and Tony's been laying down the behind-the-scenes facts for us, and I kind of like it. So,
Yeah, stuff that the
We don't need a
listeners
play by
really.
play.
yeah. The point is, you guys got to go out and see this. You have to support every movie that's ever been filmed in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
That's my goal with this here.
every
Even the
film-
ones that aren't filmed in Oklahoma and filmed in Spain,
Yeah.
but made by Oklahoma
Well, like Stillwater was.
Yeah, Stillwater was here. Yeah,
Yeah.
Stillwater did. It at least was filmed a little bit
yeah,
here.
like
Did you say
3 weeks or something. Yeah.
you say every movie? Does that mean we have to cover Bianca
There's a
Pure
couple
Art
on my
again?
IMDb.
I mean, there's a couple I don't want to mention that we don't have to.
Yeah, they're going to film school. They're figuring it out.
Yeah.
I've been there. I promise.
But if okay, let's just end it like this. What's one thing you took out of or what's the one thing you took from this movie that you would try to sell somebody on?
I would tell them that it's not a tornado movie. Because we were talking about before that it was kind of sold that way. It's not a tornado movie. It's a people movie, and it flows together sort of like. I don't know. I forget the movie you mentioned earlier. I think Crash, maybe. Sort of like that. Yeah, it's like all these narratives, and they come together at the end, and it's surrounded by this big monster, this tornado. Because I think when I was watching it, one of the things you could have done, you could have replaced the tornado with, I mean, you could have had an actual monster, and it still could have had
Yeah.
a similar kind of.
It could have been an
impact.
alien.
Right. Yeah. It could have been, which are real.
Yes.
Only idiots don't believe in it.
That's all right.
But yeah, it could have been that. It could have been zombies. It could have been any number of things. And it's like the core story still would have been really cool and the same. So yeah, it's not a tornado movie. It's not a disaster movie. It's people whose lives were changed because of a disaster.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that was one of my takeaways too, or probably my biggest takeaway is that this wasn't like any other disaster film I've ever seen because they focused so much on the people
Yeah.
and like their stories and what was going on in their lives rather than like the tornado was almost an afterthought. Um, even when it came and went, like I was still more focused on the people and like how they're going to end up in the end.
Because
So
when the tornado hits, it's quick. I don't know what I thought, but it's like when Amy Smart hits the alarm and it like she sets it off for everyone. It's like from then on, it's quick. It's like they better dive quick.
It might be 13 minutes.
Yeah, I have to check and see, but yeah, it's not long. But it's very impactful.
and as far as an Oklahoma film, I love that they have the hints of the racist guy in there, but they also show the humanity side of him as
Yeah.
well. And
The tough conservative parents
yeah,
love their son, but don't
But-
quite know how to do it.
Even when he dramatically says you're not gay, like the look in his face, it's great acting because he looks like he's almost choked up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like who's he trying to convince? Because it's
did
obviously
great,
not
yeah.
his kid. It's trying to convince himself.
He's trying to be like, don't do this.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I thought they did good.
yeah, I think we all agree. 13 Minutes was not a disaster film.
No.
It's a film about four different families and lives and how they intertwine with one another in this small town of Oklahoma.
Old Amazon, just go to the
Yes.
devil and the monster conglomerate of Amazon and
Yeah.
go find it.
Jeff Bezos has got us.
Right, he's got us.
It is watchable though. You could do
Yeah.
worse sitting for hour and 48 minutes. I think it was. So-
Yeah, you could do worse. Yeah. No, it was good. I thought it was sweet for sure.
Well, guys, this has been another episode of Oklahoma History and Film with our brand new co-host Toni Marlo.
All right.
Thank you, Toni,
Yeah,
for
you're welcome.
joining us, and we
I
really
can
look
join more.
forward. We look forward to more of your insight because I know you've worked on like damn near every every movie that's been filmed in Oklahoma.
Or I know the ones that that I'm not filmed on.
It was
that I'm not doing.
genuinely interesting, and I hope that the listeners come away with the same sense that I had going into this blind. Is the best way to do it. Just dive in blind. Is just some really cool insight. I had no idea that there was.
Yeah.
There's so much to movies in general, and like you were saying earlier, to be able to get an hour and 48 minutes worth of something watchable, all these people have to come together. You got makeup people, special effects people doing that, the degloving of the hand. Oh, it makes my hand hurt. You got to have actors. You got to have lighting. You got all this stuff, and sometimes it doesn't come together. But in this case, I do think it came together. It was very watchable. You guys should be proud.
Good job to Lindsay for that. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening, and stay tuned for more episodes of Oklahoma History and Film in the very near future. I don't ever tell you when we're putting them out. I just put them out, okay? Yeah, just be ready.